Okay, so you've just landed. You know that feeling. Passport control agents maybe looking a bit stern, baggage claim is chaos, and you're exhausted after 10 hours squished on a plane.
Hmm.
And even if your English is, really strong, maybe you aced that C1 exam, you watch complex dramas, no problem that moment. That real-world high-stakes situation,
Mm.
it can still make you panic a little, can it?
It absolutely can. And that feeling, that gap between knowing the language really well on paper or in a classroom and then actually using it confidently, smoothly, that's exactly what we want to tackle in this deep dive.
Right.
We're talking to you, the listener, who's already at that B2, C1, maybe even higher level. We're not here to drill basic grammar, the difference between there and there.
No, definitely not.
It's about refining. It's about giving you those specific cultural insights, the exact phrases, the tools you need so your next trip to an English-speaking country feels, well, seamless, stress-free, and actually fun, enriching.
Yeah, exactly. Our mission today, really, is to take all this great advice out there on advanced travel English and boil it down. We're focusing on how to use the strong English you already have, maximizing its impact. This isn't basic survival English. It's more like optimization. It's about lowering that stress, that cognitive load, so you're not constantly worrying, did I sound rude? Or did they understand me?
Precisely. So you can actually focus on the good stuff, the sights, the people, the food.
Instead of the language barrier being the main event.
And the research, what we've looked at, it consistently points to the fact that success at this advanced level, it's less about just having a huge vocabulary.
Right.
And much more about, let's call it communication efficiency, especially in those high-pressure daily things, airports, hotels,
Yeah.
catching a bus.
Yeah, the transactional stuff.
Exactly. When you can use language that's precise, idiomatic, and crucially culturally sensitive, those potential stress points just dissolve. They become smooth transitions. And that linguistic polish, it really changes the whole feel of your trip. Okay, let's dig into that then. Section 1, cultural intelligence. You're saying this is kind of the secret sauce for confident communication. I really think it is. Let's unpack that difference you mentioned between just being proficient, maybe on a test, and actually traveling successfully with your C1 skills.
Okay.
It boils down to nuance, doesn't it? That polish. What some call the etiquette gap.
Yeah.
We're moving beyond just what words you use
Gotcha.
and focusing almost entirely on how you phrase things, how you signal respect, cultural awareness. That's key.
So give me an example. How does this play out in, say, a hotel or airport?
Well, if you're operating at that B2 or C1 level, you absolutely have to get comfortable with diplomatic language. It's just non-negotiable in service interaction.
Diplomatic language.
Meaning the huge difference between giving a direct order and phrasing something as a collaborative request. Imagine an advanced speaker. Sounds fluent, right? But they walk up to a flight attendant and say something that translates literally as, give me the Wi-Fi code.
Oof. Yeah, sounds blunt.
Exactly. Or, I want a window seat. Even with a perfect accent, that phrasing immediately puts the interaction on slightly shaky ground. It feels demanding, adversarial almost.
Right. So how do you fix that? What's the diplomatic version?
This is where, honestly, the conditional auxiliary verb becomes your absolute best friend, like your most powerful tool.
Okay, like could and would.
Precisely. The difference between give me and the much, much friendlier, smoother, could you please? It's enormous. It's tectonic, like you said earlier.
Why does that tiny word make such a difference?
Linguistically, could changes it from demand into an inquiry. It subtly acknowledges that the answer might be no, or that there might be limitations. You're framing it as asking for a favor, not commanding a service.
Ah, I see. It shows you understand their constraints.
Exactly right. When you use those conditional phrases, things like, could you possibly help me with, or would it be all right if I asked about? You're showing a level of linguistic sophistication that just earns goodwill straight away.
Okay.
You're signaling, hey, I know this is a transaction, but I respect your role and your time. And believe me, in busy, high-stress places like an airport check-in desk, that little linguistic gesture of respect, it's incredibly powerful.
Makes them more willing to help, I bet.
Far more willing. They're much more likely to go that extra mile, check that system again, find a solution for you if you've approached them politely.
That makes sense. But, I was looking at some of the source material, and it mentioned a potential pitfall. Sometimes non-native speakers trying really hard to be polite can actually overdo it.
That's a really excellent point, yes.
Like translating politeness structures too, literally from their own language, maybe sounding almost apologetic. Is there a danger of sounding too hesitant or deferential?
There absolutely is. The goal is confident politeness, not groveling. So, for example, launching into something like, I wonder if I could possibly trouble you to perhaps tell me where, might sound a bit overly elaborate or flowery in a typical American or British service situation.
So what's better?
Usually, a direct but still conditional request. Could you please tell me where the nearest taxi rank is? It's efficient, polite, clear. Perfect.
So over-apologizing for just asking a normal question can actually be counterproductive, slow things down.
It can, yeah. It can sometimes confuse the person you're talking to or just make the interaction unnecessarily long. The real C1 skill here is judging the right level of diplomatic complexity for that specific situation. Not too blunt, not too flowery.
Finding that sweet spot. Okay. And this idea of cultural intelligence, it goes beyond just the words, right? You mentioned essential small touches.
Yes. These are the unspoken rules. The culturally loaded actions that signal whether you get it as a traveler or if you're maybe going to unintentionally cause a bit of friction.
Like what sort of things?
Well, queuing is the classic example, isn't it?
Yes. Lining up.
In so many English-speaking cultures, especially the UK, Australia, Canada, queuing is taken incredibly seriously, almost religiously.
Definitely experienced that in London.
Right, cutting the queue, even accidentally stepping over that invisible line. It's seen as a major social blunder. So, mastering the art of the orderly queue is like a silent language test you need to pass.
Okay, queue properly. Got it. What else? Beyond queuing, there are some crucial verbal cues. Number one, consistently using, before interrupting.
Before any kind of interruption or approach, trying to squeeze past someone in a crowded train aisle. Excuse me. Need to get a waiter's attention who isn't looking your way. Excuse me. Even if someone's just standing there, starting with, excuse me, before asking your question, acknowledges their space, their time. It's vital.
Simple but effective.
And maybe the most important small touch of all, consistent, genuine gratitude. Saying thank you.
Not just a quick thanks.
Well, thanks is okay, but leveling it up makes a difference. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Or, I really appreciate your help. Adding that little bit of genuine warmth in your tone, it really registers with people, makes the interaction feel more human.
So putting it all together, advanced cultural intelligence is really about blending that solid grammar and vocab with this awareness of context, knowing the right level of politeness, when to use, showing gratitude.
That's it, exactly. It's about removing the friction, making yourself easy and pleasant to interact with.
And if you do that,
People will generally go that extra little bit further to help you solve whatever problem you have. It just smooths everything over. Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Let's move into section 2 then. High-stakes situations. The survival toolkit. This is where we need that polished language under pressure.
Right. Precisely. We're moving from general principles to very specific phrases for those moments where time is short and getting the right information is critical.
Starting with the big one, the airport gauntlet. And the airports are tough. The interactions are fast. There's a lot riding on them. And you're often tired, maybe jet-lagged.
Totally.
So the research really emphasizes focusing on precise, actionable, location-specific questions. You need clear directions, fast. No time for ambiguity.
right. So first hurdle, baggage. What's the phrase? Keep it simple, direct. Where's the baggage claim? No need for elaborate intros, just get the info. Okay, what if you have a connecting flight? Time pressure's really on then. Yes. So you need help finding where you need to go next. The request should be conditional, polite, but very specific. Could you help me find gate 12? Notice that could you help me find, not just where is APO, asking for active assistance.
Exactly. You're subtly asking them to potentially point or even guide, not just give a vague direction. Airport staff are usually trained for that.
Got it. And the other big time suck, the one that really dictates when your holiday actually starts, immigration or border control.
Ugh, yes. The queues can be soul-destroying sometimes.
So how do you manage the anxiety there? Is there a useful question? A good one is, how long is the wait at immigration? It's specific. It asks for an estimate. Doesn't mean they'll know exactly, but it gives you some idea, helps you mentally prepare for the wait. Okay, that's helpful. So you've cleared immigration, got your bags. Next stop, the hotel. Hotel logistics. Right. Check-in needs to be smooth. The essential starting point is stating the fact and providing ID. I have a reservation under your name. Clear, simple. Okay, that's straightforward. But what about those slightly trickier requests, where you need those C1 diplomatic skills we talked about? Good point. Let's compare two requests. First, a simple transactional one. Is breakfast included? Straightforward query. Okay, Now, compare that to something that involves a bit more negotiation, maybe bending the rules slightly. Could I get a late checkout?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's asking for something extra.
Exactly. And the phrasing, could I get, is key. It signals to the hotel clerk, okay, I know this isn't standard. It depends on your schedule, your cleaning staff, occupancy. It's a polite way to open the negotiation.
And if you've already been pleasant, use those small touches.
They're much more likely to actually check the system properly, see if they can accommodate you. But what if the answer is no?
Right. What's the polite follow-up?
The advanced speaker pivots gracefully. Okay, I understand. Would it be possible to leave my luggage here until, say, 4 p.m. then? You acknowledge their refusal, then move to a related, often easier request, maintaining that friendly, collaborative tone.
That's really useful, having that backup request ready, that linguistic flexibility to shift gears rather than just getting stuck or annoyed.
Absolutely crucial. Okay, moving on. Public transport. Getting around town.
Another area for potential confusion, definitely. So first step with, say, a bus driver or a station attendant is confirming you're heading the right way. Does this bus go to the city center or wherever your destination is? Simple enough. Then the money part.
How much is a single ticket? Again, precise, clear. But yeah, public transport can be confusing. Maps aren't always clear. Announcements get muffled.
Or maybe the driver seems really busy. You don't want to bother them too much.
Right. And this is where you might need to delegate the task of watching for your stop, especially if you're unsure.
Delegate? How do you mean? Using a phrase like, could you tell me when to get off for the museum? Or asking a fellow passenger politely. It's an active request for help. Could you tell me when to get off? That feels powerful but polite.
It is, because it uses the conditional. It's easy for a driver or a local to say, sure. You're placing a little trust in them, and it stops you sailing past your destination while you're looking at your phone or the sights. Very smart. Okay, now, the bit nobody wants to think about, but everyone needs to be ready for. Handling the unexpected. Emergency English.
Yeah.
This is where practice, drilling it until it's automatic, is so important. When real stress hits, your brain doesn't work the same way. Language retrieval can plummet.
So you need phrases that are short, unmistakable, and instantly convey the urgency.
Exactly. The consensus from, travel safety guides and the like points to 3 absolutely critical ones, non-negotiable.
Okay, what are they?
I need a doctor. 2, could you call the police? And 3, the one that sends shivers down your spine, I've lost my passport.
Wow. Yeah. Direct, clear, high stakes.
These are the emergency tools you deploy immediately when things go seriously wrong.
But the source material also stressed something else here, didn't it? That just knowing the phrase isn't quite enough. It really emphasized knowing specific non-language facts beforehand.
Yes, that's crucial preparation advice.
I was a bit surprised, actually. It prioritized knowing your embassy address, for example, over knowing the name of the local transit app. Why is that specific fact so vital in an emergency?
Because your emergency prep needs to prioritize your personal safety and your legal status above simple convenience.
Okay.
A transit app helps you get around, which is great. But losing your passport, that's an immediate legal problem. You could be stranded. Knowing where your embassy or consulate is, having their contact details, that gives you the immediate next step. That's the one official body whose job it is to help you in that specific crisis.
I see. Language is the tool to shout for help, but prior knowledge gives you the target for that help, perfectly put. So the preparation is twofold. 1, memorize those clear, concise emergency phrases so they come out automatically under duress. Right. I need a doctor. Call the police. Lost my passport.
Physically write down. Don't just rely on your phone, which could be lost or dead, those key non-language facts. Local emergency numbers, like 999 in the UK, 911 in the US, Canada, 1000 in Australia, and your embassy's address and phone number.
Got it. Have that info on paper, maybe in your wallet or a separate secure place.
Precisely. That 2-part prep means you can communicate the immediate need and then instantly guide whoever's helping you towards the actual solution. Okay, really vital advice there. So we've covered the high-stakes stuff. Let's shift gears into Section 3, leveraging your C1 skills not just for survival, but for actual comfort and building rapport, making the trip more enjoyable.
Exactly. Once you feel confident handling the essentials, you can relax a bit and focus on the pleasures, like navigating restaurants smoothly and having genuine interactions with people. The restaurant experience seems like a good place to start. Lower stakes than losing your passport, hopefully.
Hopefully. Yes, restaurants are a fantastic, relatively low-risk playground for practicing those advanced diplomatic and social skills. Let's start with the basics, what we call restaurant-ready phrases.
Okay, the essentials for just getting fed and paying.
Right.
Right. Standard requests like, could I see the menu, please? Polite, uses the conditional. Or asking about dietary needs. Do you have vegetarian options? And the crucial one for group meals these days. Could we split the bill?
Yes, or sometimes, particularly in North America, you might hear or want to use, could we get separate checks?
Is there a difference there? Split the bill versus separate checks.
There can be a subtle one. Split the bill often implies dividing the total cost evenly among everyone. Separate checks usually means you want the server to calculate exactly what each person or couple ordered and provide individual bills. Knowing that distinction can save some confusion at payment time.
Good tip. Okay, but that's the basic stuff. Where does the C1 level really make a difference in a restaurant setting?
It shines when you move into what we termed advanced culinary diplomacy. This is about making more complex modifications or special requests without sounding, difficult or demanding.
Ah, this is where just translating directly from your own language can really go wrong, right? You need the proper idiomatic phrasing.
Absolutely. Direct translation often sounds blunt. The source materials had some great examples.
Yeah. Like what?
Okay, say you don't want dressing all over your salad. Instead of saying, take the dressing off or no dressing, which is a command.
Right. You use that complex conditional phrasing to show flexibility. Would it be possible to have the dressing on the side? See the difference. You're framing it as a question about what the kitchen can do, not giving an order. That's much smoother. What about substitutions? I remember trying years ago to ask something like, can I change fries for salad? And just getting a blank look. Probably my accent and clumsy phrasing.
Yeah, that's a classic scenario. It's about the tone and the structure.
So what works?
The phrase, could I substitute fries for a salad, works well. Why? Because substitute is the standard term, and using could I, again, signals politeness. It implies you understand this might not be possible, or maybe there's a small extra charge, but you're asking nicely if they can accommodate it.
It shows you respect their system, the kitchen's workflow.
Precisely. You're engaging with the norms of restaurant ordering in English. And this diplomatic approach is even more critical if you have serious dietary needs like allergies.
Oh, absolutely. That's not just preference, that's safety.
Right. So your language needs to shift from polite request to crystal clear communication of a requirement. You need to be direct, but still within the bounds of politeness.
How would you phrase that? You'd state the fact, then ask for assurance. Something like, I have a severe nut allergy. Could you please ensure this dish is prepared completely without nuts, nut oil, or any risk of cross-contamination? Notice the shift there still. Could you please ensure? But the core message about the allergy is very direct, very specific, no ambiguity allowed.
Exactly. The advanced speaker knows when safety or critical needs mean clarity has to trump excessive deference. It's about modulating your politeness level appropriately.
That's a fantastic example of applying these skills in a nuanced way. Okay, let's broaden out from restaurants to just general social confidence, building bridges, making connections, using small talk.
Yes. So often, tourists kind of stick together, maybe a bit intimidated to chat with locals. But using even basic small talk is where your C1 skills can really pay off. It humanizes you.
How so?
Well, small talk isn't just empty filler. Think of it as social lubrication or even social currency. The guides we looked at consistently say locals are just much more willing to offer help, give you better insider recommendations, or just generally be friendly if you've made that small effort to connect first.
Okay, so how do you initiate? What's a safe bet? The all-time classic, universally reliable opener. Talking about the weather. Yes. Can't go wrong there. It's totally low stakes, nobody gets offended, and it's easy for anyone to respond to. Something simple like, the weather's been lovely, hasn't it? Or if it's raining, maybe a bit of light humor. Looks like we brought the rain with us, eh? And that little tag question at the end, hasn't it? Hey, that invites them to reply, doesn't it?
Exactly. It makes it a conversation starter, not just a statement.
Right.
But okay, you've opened the door with the weather. How do you move beyond that?
Good question.
You personalize it slightly by sharing your identity. Don't just launch into asking for directions immediately. Offer a little something first.
Like,
I'm visiting from your country. It's my first time here. Or I'm visiting from Germany. Have you ever been there? This gives them something to respond to.
Yeah.
Invites them to share a bit too. It creates a two-way street.
Makes it more of a real interaction, less transactional.
Precisely. Now, for the advanced traveler, sometimes the challenge isn't starting the small talk. It's keeping it going, right?
Right.
Especially if the local person replies really quickly, maybe uses slang you don't know, or has a strong regional accent.
Yeah, that can be tricky. You don't want to just shut down.
Right. So the C1 skill here is having some active listening strategies ready. Polite ways to ask for clarification or slow things down without being rude.
What sort of phrases work? You can't just say, speak slower.
No, definitely not. That sounds quite demanding, even condescending. Instead, you use phrases that subtly put the blame on the situation or yourself.
Okay, like what? You could try, sorry I didn't quite catch that with all the street noise. Could you say that last part again? See? Blame the noise. Clever. Or, if they use a word you don't know, oh, that's interesting. What does the word mean? I haven't heard that expression before. This shows you're engaged and curious, not just lost. It gently asks for clarification, so it keeps the conversation going while getting you the information you need. That kind of social flexibility, being able to handle those little bumps smoothly, that sounds like the real mark of advanced travel fluency.
I think it really is. It's about confidence, not just in your vocabulary, but in your ability to navigate the actual flow of interaction.
Okay, fantastic. So we've got the cultural intelligence, the high-stakes toolkit, the strategies for comfort and rapport. Let's move to section 4, the action plan. Making all this actually stick, making it feel natural.
Right.
Because knowing this stuff intellectually is one thing, but being able to deploy it smoothly when you're tired, maybe a little stressed, that's the real goal.
And it comes back to preparation, doesn't it? Absolutely. The value of preparation here is huge. Investing a bit of time before your trip pays off massively during your trip. If you've practiced, your brain isn't scrambling to translate basic requests. You free up all that mental energy to actually enjoy where you are, notice things, be present.
You bypass that panic moment we talked about at the start?
Completely. So how do we make this learning concrete? The sources suggested a really practical 3-step challenge. It's designed to build that linguistic muscle memory, moving these phrases from conscious thought to almost automatic production.
Okay, lay it out for us. Step 1.
Step 1 is about writing and scenario building. Pick one of those key situations we discussed, maybe airport check-in, asking for late checkout at the hotel, or making a complex order in a restaurant.
Got it. Choose one scenario.
Then actually write out a short, realistic dialogue, back and forth. Not just a list of phrases, but a mini-script. Make sure you weave in that diplomatic language, the conditional coulds and woulds, at the start, the thank you so much at the end.
So really visualize the interaction and write it down, including what the other person might say back. Exactly. Give them lines too. Step 2 is all about rehearsal. Practice. You have to say your written dialogue out loud, repeatedly, until it feels natural.
Until it feels natural, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And that means focusing not just on the words, but the intonation, the rhythm, the stress. Try to say it at a reasonably normal pace, mimicking how a native speaker might sound. The aim is to get rid of that little pause where your brain is consciously translating.
Especially for those critical emergency phrases, right? They need to be instant.
Absolutely instant. I need a doctor. Shouldn't involve any thinking time. But practicing alone only gets you so far, doesn't it?
Right. You need some external validation, which leads to step 3.
The crucial feedback loop. If you possibly can, practice your dialogue with someone else. Ideally, a native speaker of the English dialect you're likely to encounter, maybe a friend, an online tutor, a language exchange partner.
Why is their feedback so important?
Because they can tell you things you can't judge yourself. Does your tone sound genuinely polite or maybe a bit sarcastic? Is the vocabulary you chose actually current and natural? Did that diplomatic phrase land correctly?
They provide the reality check.
Precisely. It's the difference between practicing what you think sounds right versus getting confirmation on what actually sounds natural and effective in the real world. You're essentially running a low-risk simulation of a potentially high-risk interaction.
Simulating the pressure, the speed, maybe even an unfamiliar accent if your partner can do one, making sure your prepared script actually holds up.
That's the goal. Build the confidence through practice and feedback before you even step on the plane.
Okay, that's a really solid, actionable plan. Write it, rehearse it, get feedback. So, as we wrap up this deep dive, let's quickly summarize the key takeaways. I think the core message for the advanced traveler listening is this. Your success isn't just about grammar rules anymore. It's about merging that linguistic precision you've worked so hard for with real cultural finesse.
You've got the vocabulary, the structures. Now, the focus needs to be on wielding those tools with diplomatic skill, with proper etiquette, understanding the nuances of politeness. Remember, building rapport, being pleasant to deal with those, are often more powerful communication tools than a perfectly formed past participle.
That's a great way to put it. And we started off by saying that this kind of preparation, mastering this level of communication, removes the fear of failure, right? It frees you up to actually enjoy the trip.
Yeah.
So if we take that idea a step further, if your advanced English means you're no longer anxious about, say, ordering dinner or asking for directions, what's the next level? What kind of deeper cultural engagement do these skills unlock for the prepared traveler?
That's a fantastic closing thought. Because once those basic logistical anxieties are gone, you can handle checking in, getting around ordering food. You can genuinely shift your focus. You can move beyond just transactional survival.
Towards real immersion, towards pushing past that surface level tourist bubble. Think about it. What unique, unscripted interaction could you now seek out because your language skills are strong? Good question.
Could you maybe find and attend a local book club meeting? Or join a walking tour that's not aimed at tourists but focuses on really specific local history? Could you strike up a genuinely long, interesting conversation with a local artisan about their craft, going beyond just buying something?
Using your fluency not just to get things done, but to connect on a deeper level.
Exactly. Use your advanced English to seek out those opportunities for authentic, unscripted connection, to ask more probing questions, to understand different perspectives, to really enrich your understanding of the place and its people in a way that just wasn't possible when you were still focused on basic communication survival. That, I think, is the ultimate payoff.
Using language to truly experience the world, not just observe it. Fantastic. Well, thank you so much for diving deep into this with us today. Really practical and insightful.
My pleasure. We hope this helps you all travel more confidently. We look forward to hearing about your adventures. Until next time.